If you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, you'll make a fortune. Most people never hear that message early enough. They think if they just show up every day, life will eventually hand them the rewards. It doesn't. Life hands rewards to the ones who build themselves into something valuable. You can lose a job. You can lose a title. But you can never lose the skills, the discipline, the mindset you build into yourself. That's yours. Nobody can take that from you. The real question is, how much time are you spending building you? How many hours last week were spent sharpening your mind, strengthening your habits, upgrading your thinking? Most people spend all day making a living, but no time making a life. They chase money, but never chase improvement, and that's why they stay stuck, even when they work hard. If you really want to change your life, not just hope, not just talk, then you have to learn this simple rule. Work harder on yourself than you do on anything else. Stay with me, because today you'll learn the truth that separates the people who move forward from the people who stay stuck forever. Number 1, build a daily plan to improve your own skills. You have to make yourself a project. Not once a year, not once in a while, every single day. You have to wake up and say, today, I work on me. Today, I sharpen who I am. Today, I do a little better than yesterday. If you do not set that as part of your plan, life will set a plan for you. And usually, it is not a very good one. Most people work hard on their job. They show up, they do what is asked, they fill the hours, but when you ask them what they are doing for themselves, they do not have much to say. That is the mistake. That is where people lose their edge. If you want real success, you have to learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Your job gives you a living. You give yourself a fortune. It does not take a lot of time. It does not take a lot of money. It takes thought. It takes decision. It takes planning. You sit down with yourself and you say, what do I need to improve? Where am I weak? Where am I slipping? Where can I get a little stronger? Where can I know a little more? Where can I do a little better? You write it down. That is how you make it real. Do not keep it floating in your mind. Write it down. See it. Read it. Think about it. If you do not write it down, you will forget. You will drift back into habits and routines that do not serve you. A daily plan keeps you on track. It reminds you every morning that you have work to do on you. Start simple. Pick one skill you want to get better at. It could be speaking better. It could be organizing your day. It could be learning something that makes you more valuable in your work. It does not matter where you start. It only matters that you start. Improvement does not come from chance. It comes from small, deliberate actions every day. Ask yourself, what can I read today that teaches me something useful? What conversation can I have that makes me think a little bigger? What part of my character needs strengthening? Maybe it is patience. Maybe it is discipline. Maybe it is courage. Maybe it is kindness. Every strength you build in yourself will show up later when you need it most. People ask me, how do you change your life? How do you turn it around? It is simple. You pick a direction and you take a small step in that direction every day. Not a giant leap, not some emotional burst that fades by Friday. A small, real step every day. That is how you win. That is how you build a future you can be proud of. Every night before you go to bed, ask yourself one question. What did I do today to improve me? Not the company, not the team, me one. If you have a good answer, you are on the right track. If you do not, fix it. Plan it better for tomorrow. Improvement is not automatic. It is manual. You have to drive it. You have to decide it. You see, your future is not something you wait for. Your future is something you work for. Day by day, skill by skill, choice by choice. And the biggest mistake you can make is thinking you have time to waste. You do not. Time does not wait. Time does not slow down. The days slip by whether you are getting better or not. So build a plan. Not once a year at New Year's. Every day, a small plan. Today I will read these pages. Today I will practice this skill. Today I will handle this challenge better than I did last time. Today I will show up for me. The power of the plan is not in how big it is. The power is in the fact that it makes you conscious. It makes you intentional. Most people live their life on accident. They stumble into habits. They stumble into attitudes. They stumble into results they do not want. You have to live on purpose. You have to say, I know where I am going, and I know who I need to become to get there. When you plan your self-improvement, you stay awake, you stay sharp, you notice where you are growing and where you are slipping. You catch yourself faster, you correct faster, you stay in motion, you stay alive. Life responds to that. Doors open, opportunities show up, people take notice, and most importantly, you start to respect yourself at a higher level. Respect comes from doing what you said you would do, especially when it is for you. Most people keep promises to their boss, but they break promises to themselves. You have to reverse that. You have to keep your promises to yourself first. When you plan your growth and you follow through, you are telling yourself that you matter, that your future matters. The world can change, your company can change, the economy can change. But if you are building yourself every day, you are ready for it. You have options. You have strength. You have skill. You are not at the mercy of outside forces. You are in charge of you. If you get this right, it will change everything. You will walk into rooms different. You will handle challenges different. You will live with more peace. You will live with more pride, because you know you are not wasting your days. You are not waiting for permission. You are not blaming. You are building. It starts simple. It starts today. Sit down. Get quiet. Ask yourself what needs to get better. Write it down. Set a small target for today, and then go do it. Tomorrow, do it again, and the next day, and the next. It is not flashy. It is not dramatic. It is steady. It is strong. It is the real work of building a life. When you work harder on yourself than you do on your job, your future will open up wider than you can imagine, because your greatest project will always be you. Number 2. Read something useful before you start your day. The way you start your day often decides how you live your day, and the way you live your days adds up to the kind of life you end up with. If you wake up and the first thing you reach for is entertainment, the first thing you feed your mind is noise, you are setting yourself up for a weak day. But if you wake up and feed your mind something useful, something that challenges you, teaches you, or strengthens you, you are setting up a day that builds your life. Reading is one of the simplest ways to get the right ideas flowing through your mind early. It does not take hours. It does not require a big event. It just takes the decision to pick something useful and put it into your head before the world starts pulling at you. The world will pull at you all day. Your phone will buzz. Your boss will ask. The news will shout. But before all of that, you get a choice. You get to decide what enters first. And first matters. First sets the tone. First directs the mind. If you start with complaints, you notice everything that is wrong. If you start with doubt, you notice every fear. But if you start with useful knowledge, useful encouragement, useful truth, your mind goes to work differently. It builds instead of breaks. It acts instead of waits. It solves instead of complains. Now, when I say read something useful, I do not mean anything that just sounds smart. I mean something that actually builds you. It might be a chapter from a good book on success. It might be a few pages from a book on leadership. It might be a biography of someone who overcame what you are trying to overcome. It could even be one powerful idea written down clearly that makes you think better. What matters is that it is useful, that it teaches, that it stretches you a little. Reading before your day starts is a way of telling yourself you are serious about your life. It is a way of taking responsibility for the most important tool you have, your mind. The mind is like a garden. If you do not plant something good in it, weeds will grow by default. And weeds are easy. You do not have to work to get weeds. You have to work to get a good crop. Same with your mind. If you leave it empty, the world will fill it with anger, fear, gossip, and distraction. But if you fill it first with good ideas, with strength, with solutions, then you move through the day differently. You handle problems smarter. You handle people better. You stay calmer. You think clearer. You feel stronger. You do not have to spend 3 hours reading. You do not have to read a whole book in one sitting. That is not the point. The point is small, consistent doses of the right material. 5 pages, 10 minutes, 1 chapter. Enough to feed the mind, something that sets the direction for the day. Enough to remind you that you are not living by accident. Enough to fuel you with the right mindset before the world hands you its noise. Think of it like breakfast for the mind. You would not skip breakfast for your body every day and expect to stay strong. You should not skip breakfast for your mind either. A few minutes spent reading something useful every morning compounds over time into a much stronger mind, a much wiser way of thinking, a much more successful life. It is not about reading for entertainment. It is about reading for advancement. It is about choosing material that makes you ask better questions, that makes you want to grow, that makes you uncomfortable enough to change. It is about feeding yourself first, before you are asked to give all day. If you make this a habit, you will notice a difference. You will walk into meetings already thinking clearer. You will face challenges already feeling prepared. You will handle stress with more strength. You will see opportunities faster, because you took the time to load your mind with useful things before you asked it to work all day. And it does something else too. It builds your confidence. Quietly, steadily, every page you read, every new idea you understand, you are building invisible strength inside you. The kind of strength that does not shout. The kind of strength that stands when things get hard. When everybody else is panicking, you are thinking. When everybody else is stuck, you are moving. There is a confidence that comes from preparation. And there is a confidence that comes from discipline. Reading something useful before your day starts gives you both. You prepared your mind. You disciplined yourself to feed it right. And over time, those small choices create a big difference in who you become. Most people do not read anything useful all day long. They read social media. They read gossip. They read fear. They feed themselves junk and wonder why they feel weak inside. You can be different. You can decide that before the world tells you who you are, you will tell yourself who you are becoming. Pick a book today. Pick a good one. Set it by your bedside. Set it on your table. Put it where you will see it first thing. And tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you listen to the news, before you let the noise in, open that book. Read a few pages. Think about it. Let it speak to you. Let it set your mind in the right direction. Do not underestimate what 10 minutes of good reading a day can do over a year. Over a year, that is 60 hours of building your mind stronger. Over 5 years, that is 300 hours of setting your thinking ahead of the crowd. Over a lifetime, it separates you completely from the people who drift and hope. Small steps matter. Small habits matter. Feeding your mind right matters. Success is not found in one big event. It is found in small daily decisions, repeated with care. Reading something useful before your day starts is one of those decisions that will quietly but surely change everything. Your life gets better when you get better, and you get better when you feed yourself better thoughts, better ideas, better strategies, better stories. It starts with a simple decision. Pick something useful. Read it first. Let that be your foundation every day, and watch how much better you handle everything else that comes your way. The best investment you can make is in your own mind, and the best time to invest is at the start of every day. Number 3, write down the lessons you learn every night. One of the habits that changed my life the most was this simple one. At the end of every day, I would sit down, take a few quiet minutes, and write down what I learned. That's it. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated, just a simple practice. A notebook, a pen, a few honest thoughts. You see, life teaches you every day. Every day you get lessons. Some come easy, some come hard, some are hidden inside a success, some are hidden inside a mistake. But the lessons are there. The question is, are you paying attention? Are you catching them? Are you keeping them? Or are you letting them slip away? Most people live the same year 30 times and call it a life. They do not grow because they do not stop long enough to think about what life is trying to teach them. They move from one thing to the next, from one day to the next, without stopping to ask, what did I learn today that can help me tomorrow? When you write it down, you make it real. When you write it down, you keep it. Otherwise, it fades. It disappears. Good lessons do not stay if you do not capture them. Good ideas do not stay if you do not trap them. Your mind is busy. Your day is noisy. If you are not careful, the best wisdom you get will slip right through your fingers. Writing down your lessons every night helps you in ways you cannot even see at first. It sharpens your thinking. It trains your mind to look for meaning. It gives you a deeper sense of direction. You start to notice patterns. You start to notice strengths and weaknesses. You start to connect the dots between what works and what does not. It also humbles you. Because when you write down your lessons, you see just how much you still have to learn. It keeps you from getting arrogant. It keeps you from thinking you have it all figured out. A humble spirit learns faster. A humble spirit grows stronger. A humble spirit sees opportunity where others see problems. And here is the thing. It does not take long. 5 minutes, maybe 10. That's all. At the end of the day, when the house is quiet, when the calls are done, when the noise has faded, sit down with yourself. Ask yourself a few questions. What went right today? What went wrong? What would I do different next time? What did I discover about myself today? What did I discover about people today? Be honest. Be simple. Write it down like you would talk to yourself. No need to impress anybody. This is not for a show. This is for you. This is for your future. This is for your growth. Some days you will have big lessons, big breakthroughs. Write them down. Some days the lessons will be small. A better way to speak to someone. A mistake you caught faster than usual. A piece of advice you finally understood. Write those down too. The small lessons add up. The small lessons matter. Over time you will build a treasure. A personal record of your own growth. A library of your own wisdom. A mirror that shows you not just who you were, but who you are becoming. And when tough times come, you can go back to those pages. You can read where you have been. You can remind yourself of the strength you built, one day at a time. Writing down your lessons also builds discipline. Most people are too lazy to do it. They are tired. They are distracted. They tell themselves it doesn't matter. But it does matter. How you end your day often decides how you start your next one. End it sloppy, you start sloppy. End it sharp, you start sharp. Every night you sit down to write, you are telling yourself, I am serious about my life. I am paying attention. I am not just living. I am learning. I am not just going through the motions. I am growing. This small habit creates a gap between you and the average. Most people only learn when life forces them to. You learn because you choose to. You choose to pay attention. You choose to capture the lessons. You choose to own your experience, instead of letting it pass you by. And here's the truth. You will forget 90% of what you lived through, unless you write it down. You think you will remember, but you will not. Life moves fast. Memory fades. Details blur. But the pen remembers. The notebook remembers. Your words to yourself remember. Some people spend all their time collecting the words of others. They quote books. They quote speakers. They quote teachers. That is good. That is important. But do not forget to collect your own words, your own lessons, your own wisdom. Because you are living a life nobody else is living. You are walking a road nobody else is walking. And your experience matters. Writing down your lessons each night also calms your mind. It clears the clutter. It puts your day in perspective. It lets you leave the day behind with a sense of closure. It lets you rest without carrying 1,000 loose ends into your sleep. You go to bed lighter. You wake up clearer. This simple habit will also teach you patience. Some lessons you write down today will not make full sense until next year. Some truths you capture now will blossom later when you need them most. You are planting seeds. You are building a foundation. You are doing the invisible work that leads to visible success, and nobody can take it from you. Life can take your money. It can take your job. It can take your comfort, but it cannot take your lessons. It cannot take the wisdom you have built inside you. It cannot take the strength of a mind that has been sharpened by daily reflection. The world respects the man or woman who keeps learning, who stays awake to their own life, who can see not just what happened, but what it means, who can turn every mistake into a teacher and every success into a stepping stone. And that kind of person is built one night at a time, with a notebook and a little honesty. So do not wait. Start tonight. Take 5 minutes. Sit quietly. Think about your day. Find the lesson. Find the wisdom. Write it down. Do it again tomorrow, and the next night, and the next. Watch how your mind sharpens. Watch how your confidence grows. Watch how your life changes. It is not about writing perfect words. It is about building a perfect habit. A habit that says, I am learning, I am growing, I am becoming, every single day. Number 4, fix the small mistakes you keep making today. One of the reasons people stay stuck in life is not because of one big mistake. It is because of the small mistakes they make every day and never fix. The small mistakes they ignore, the small mistakes they excuse, the small mistakes they tell themselves do not matter. But they do matter, because small mistakes turn into big regrets over time. You do not lose your way all at once. You drift one bad habit at a time. You lower your standards one excuse at a time. You break your promises to yourself one moment at a time. And the trouble with small mistakes is that they feel harmless today. You skip a workout. You lose your temper. You waste an hour. You delay a decision. Nothing breaks. Nothing falls apart. So you think it is no big deal. But small mistakes are like tiny cracks in a dam. You do not see the damage right away. It does not happen in one day. But leave those cracks alone and one day they break wide open. And by then it is too late to fix it quickly. It is too late to patch it easily. Now it is a disaster. That is why the wisest thing you can do is fix the small mistakes today. Not next week. Not someday, today. When they are still small. When they are still manageable. When they are still easy to correct with a little focus and a little discipline. It takes courage to be honest with yourself about where you keep slipping. It takes strength to say, I can do better here. I need to tighten this up. I need to stop giving myself a pass in this area. But if you do it, if you tell yourself the truth and make a change, you save yourself years of pain later. Small mistakes are things like leaving things half finished, showing up 5 minutes late, saying yes when you know you should say no, wasting your best hours on things that do not matter, letting a bad attitude slide instead of checking it, skipping a small habit you know is good for you because you do not feel like it today. Each one by itself looks like nothing. Each one by itself feels harmless, but they add up. Every small slip you do not correct weakens you a little. Every small compromise you make steals a little of your pride. Every small bad choice you excuse makes the next bad choice easier. On the other hand, every small mistake you fix today strengthens you. Every time you catch yourself and correct yourself, you build character. Every time you say, no, that is not good enough for me, you build pride. Every time you refuse to let a small thing slide, you build momentum. Success is not one big moment. It is 1,000 small corrections done day after day. It is noticing when you are drifting and pulling yourself back before you are too far off course. It is being your own best coach, your own best friend, your own best leader. Nobody knows your small mistakes better than you do. You can fool others for a while. You can even hide them from people who are not paying close attention. But you know, you always know. And that knowing either eats at you or strengthens you, depending on what you do with it. The most dangerous words you can say to yourself are, it does not matter. It is just a small thing. Because that small thing repeated enough times becomes your new standard. It becomes who you are. You are not what you say you are. You are what you do every day. If you keep saying you value discipline but you keep skipping the small disciplines, you are lying to yourself. If you keep saying you want success but you keep avoiding the small hard things, you are lying to yourself. And eventually your life will show it. But the good news is, you can fix it. Starting today, you can fix the small mistakes. You can catch them before they grow. You can clean them up while they are still easy. You can decide that from today. Forward, you do not let little things slide anymore. Start simple. Pick one area where you know you have been sloppy. Maybe it is being late. Maybe it is complaining too much. Maybe it is putting off important tasks. Maybe it is spending money you do not need to spend. Pick one area. Set a small standard, a clear standard, and stick to it. Every time you catch yourself slipping, stop, correct it, fix it right there. Do not delay. Do not excuse it. Do not beat yourself up either. Just fix it. Like pulling a weed out of a garden when it is still small. No drama, just action. And over time you will notice something powerful. You will start trusting yourself more. You will walk taller. You will talk stronger. You will feel prouder. Not because you are perfect. Not because you are perfect. Not because you never make mistakes. But because you fix them when they happen. You do not let them rot. You do not let them grow. You will also notice that bigger opportunities come your way. People trust people who can handle small responsibilities well. Life rewards those who take care of the small things. Because if you are faithful with a little, you are ready for more. If you cannot handle small mistakes, you are not ready for big challenges. That is the truth. Most people are waiting for a breakthrough. They are waiting for a big opportunity. But they are stepping over small mistakes every day. They are ignoring the little leaks in their boat while dreaming about sailing across the ocean. It does not work like that. You fix the leaks first. You patch the holes first. You tighten up the ship first. Then you are ready for bigger waters. And remember, it is not about being perfect. It is about being better. A little better today than yesterday. A little sharper. A little more honest. A little more disciplined. Small daily improvements in the right areas build a massive difference over time. Take a few minutes today. Sit down. Think about it. Where have you been letting small mistakes slip through? Where have you been giving yourself permission to stay sloppy? Where have you been making excuses when you should have been making corrections? Write it down. Own it. And then make a decision. A real one. No more letting it slide. No more hoping it fixes itself. You are going to fix it. Today. Right now. Small correction. Big future. You have more power over your life than you think. It is not hidden in big moments. It is hidden in the small daily choices you make when nobody is watching. Fix the small mistakes today. And you will not just fix today. You will fix your future. Number 5. Take time to improve your habits one by one. One of the smartest things you can do with your life is to sit down and start working on your habits. Not all at once. Not trying to fix everything overnight. But patiently, steadily, one by one. Because when you fix a habit, you fix a piece of your future. When you strengthen a habit, you strengthen the foundation you are standing on. Most people make the mistake of trying to change everything at the same time. They want to quit all their bad habits at once. They want to build all the good ones in a week. And then when it gets hard, when the feelings fade, they fall right back into old ways. It is not because they are weak. It is because they never learned to take their habits one by one. Real change is not rushed. It is not emotional. It is not something you squeeze into a weekend. Real change is careful. Real change is planned. Real change is slow enough to be strong. When you go slow, you go deep. You do not just fix the surface, you fix the roots. The first step is to be honest about the habits that are hurting you. Everybody has some habits that waste your time. Habits that steal your energy. Habits that damage your reputation. Habits that weaken your body. Habits that cloud your mind. If you do not see them, they stay. If you excuse them, they grow. If you ignore them, they own you. Sit down with a piece of paper. Write down the habits you know are pulling you backwards. You do not have to show it to anybody. This is not about shame. This is about clarity. You cannot fix what you will not face. And once you face it, you take control of it. Then pick one. Not 5, not 10. One, pick the habit that if you fixed it, would make the biggest positive difference in your life right now. Maybe it is waking up on time. Maybe it is controlling your temper. Maybe it is saving a little money every week. Maybe it is spending less time complaining and more time working. One habit, one target. Focus on that one habit until it starts to change. Focus on it every day. Build your whole strategy around it. Think about it in the morning. Watch it during the day. Reflect on it at night. Correct yourself when you slip. Encourage yourself when you improve. Stay with it until it starts to feel natural. Until it stops feeling like a fight and starts feeling like a part of who you are. Do not rush it. Some habits take weeks. Some take months. That is fine. You are not competing with anyone. You are building a life. You are shaping a future. You are designing a person you can be proud of. And that takes time. Once that habit gets strong, pick another. Same process. One by one. Steady. Sure, over time you build a whole set of habits that lift you instead of limit you. that feed your dreams instead of fighting them, that support your success instead of sabotaging it. The reason this works is because it builds real confidence. Not fake hype, not shallow motivation, real confidence. Every habit you fix is a promise you keep to yourself. Every habit you strengthen is proof that you can trust your own word. And there is no power stronger than self-trust. When you trust yourself, you stop hesitating so much. You stop doubting so much. You stop needing approval from everybody else. You move with purpose. You speak with strength. You live with a quiet kind of pride that does not need to shout. Good habits make hard days easier. They carry you when motivation is low. They guide you when pressure is high. They remind you who you are when the world tries to distract you. A man with strong habits can survive a lot. A man with weak habits can be broken by very little. And do not make the mistake of thinking small habits do not matter. They matter more than you think. Small habits repeated daily have massive power over time. They create your days. Your days create your weeks create your months, and your months create your years. If you get your habits right, you get your future right. It is really that simple. But you have to be patient. You have to be consistent. You have to be willing to do the work when nobody is clapping, when nobody is watching, when nobody is cheering. Most people are addicted to feeling good. They want every step to feel exciting, but real builders are addicted to progress. They want every step to be real. They do not need fireworks. They need forward motion. Building better habits one by one also teaches you something powerful about yourself. It teaches you that you are not stuck, that you are not helpless, that you are not trapped by your past. You are changeable. You are flexible. You are responsible. And that is freedom. Freedom does not come from doing whatever you feel like doing. Freedom comes from having the discipline to choose what is best for you, even when you do not feel like it. And that discipline is built one habit at a time. So today, take time. Do not rush. Sit down with yourself. Get quiet. Get honest. Pick the one habit you know you need to fix next. Make a simple plan. Write it down. Keep it where you can see it. Remind yourself every day why it matters. And remember, you are not doing this for applause. You are not doing this for trophies. You are doing this because you respect yourself enough to build a better life. You are doing this because you believe your future is worth the effort. One day you will look back, and you will be grateful. Not for the big moments, not for the flash, but for the small, steady work you did when nobody else cared. For the nights you stayed steady. For the mornings you showed up when it was hard. For the quiet victories that built a strong, real, unshakable you. One habit at a time, one win at a time, one day at a time. Number 6. Spend an hour making your skills a little better. One of the smartest decisions you will ever make for yourself is to set aside an hour a day to work on getting a little bit better at something that matters. Not 10 hours once a month. Not a burst of energy when you feel guilty. One steady hour every day. Focused. Simple. Real. Skill is what separates those who wish from those who achieve. Skill is what takes hope and turns it into strength. It is not enough to have dreams. It is not enough to have goals. Dreams without skill are just wishes. Goals without skill are just frustrations. If you want better results, you must get better yourself. And you do not have to get better by a lot overnight. You just have to get better a little bit each day. A little sharper, a little quicker, a little more knowledgeable, a little more capable. Spend an hour today making your skills a little better than they were yesterday, and you have done more than most people do in a week. The beauty of skills is that nobody can take them from you. Jobs can change, economies can shift, people can come and go. But what you have built inside yourself, what you have trained your hands and mind to do, stays with you. Skills are portable. Skills are powerful. Skills are security. So the question is simple. Are you working on your skills every day? Are you carving out time, real time, to practice, to study, to sharpen? Or are you hoping that somehow by showing up enough times, you will magically get better? Getting better does not happen by accident. It does not happen because time passes. Some people have been doing the same thing for 20 years, and they are no better than when they started. Time alone teaches nothing. It is focused effort that makes the difference. 1 hour a day. That is the rule. 1 hour you invest in yourself, before the world starts pulling at you, before the demands pile up, before the noise drowns out your plans. One sacred hour you guard and protect, like it is the key to your future. Because it is. Spend an hour practicing your craft. Spend an hour studying your field. Spend an hour reading something that stretches your thinking. Spend an hour rehearsing the way you speak, the way you solve problems, the way you manage your time. Spend an hour making yourself harder to replace, harder to beat, harder to ignore. And it is not about perfection. It is about progress. If you get 1% better each day, if you master one more small move, if you understand one more concept, if you fix one more weakness, you are building something powerful inside you. But it has to be real. It has to be focused. It cannot just be casual. It cannot just be going through the motions. It has to be deliberate. You sit down, you get quiet, you pick a skill, you practice, you review, you correct, you improve. That is how real builders work. And here is what you will notice. After a while, that 1 hour starts to pay you back. You start solving problems faster. You start seeing opportunities others miss. You start handling stress better. You start feeling different. Not because the world changed, but because you changed. Confidence grows when skill grows. Fear shrinks when skill grows. Options open when skill grows. Respect increases when skill grows. And all of it starts with that one decision, that one daily choice, to spend an hour making your skills a little better. And do not fall into the trap of thinking you need to wait until you have more time. You do not find time. You make time. You prioritize what matters. If you wait until you are not busy, you will wait forever. Life does not slow down for you to improve. You have to slow down life for a little while each day to improve yourself. And do not fool yourself into thinking that just showing up to work is enough. Work is what you do to survive. Personal development is what you do to thrive. Most people are busy surviving. Few are busy thriving. That is why the difference shows up so clearly over time. Take an honest look at where you are now. What skill, if you improved it just a little bit, would make the biggest difference in your future? Is it communication? Is it leadership? Is it time management? Is it your health? Is it your thinking? Pick one. Start there. And do not worry about being the best. Worry about being better. Better than you were yesterday. Better than you were last month. Better than you were last year. Comparison to others is a trap. Comparison to your own past is a guide. If you will just do this, if you will just give yourself 1 hour a day, one serious hour of practice and improvement, you will look up in a year and be amazed. Your skill set will be stronger. Your confidence will be higher. Your reputation will be better. Your results will speak for themselves. Success is not owned by the smartest. It is not owned by the luckiest. It is not owned by the loudest. It is owned by the people who show up for themselves daily and do the simple, steady work that most people will not do. 1 hour. That is all it takes to separate yourself from the crowd. One focused, disciplined, non-negotiable hour. If you think you are too busy for that, think again. If you have time for television, you have time for this. If you have time for scrolling, you have time for this. If you have time for complaining, you have time for this. The future belongs to the skilled. The future belongs to the disciplined. The future belongs to those who choose to work on themselves while everyone else is distracted. You have the choice every day. You can waste an hour. You can kill an hour. Or you can invest an hour. One of those choices moves you forward. One of them leaves you stuck. One of them sets you back. Choose wisely. Your skills are your future. Build them like it matters, because it does. Number 7. Set a simple goal every morning and finish it. Every morning when you wake up, you are given a small window of time where you can decide who you are going to be today. You can either move into your day by accident, letting whatever happens control you, or you can move into your day on purpose, choosing one simple goal and finishing it no matter what. That small difference makes a big difference over time. Setting a simple goal every morning is not about trying to do everything. It is not about overwhelming yourself with a list a mile long. It is about building the habit of doing what you say you will do. It is about practicing commitment. It is about giving your mind one clear thing to focus on instead of 100 scattered ideas pulling you in different directions. And it does not have to be a world-changing goal. It just has to be real. It has to be clear. It has to be something that when you finish it, you can look yourself in the eye and say, I did what I said I would do today. That is where real strength comes from. That is where real pride is built. Not from big wins you celebrate once in a while, but from small wins you earn every day. Simple goals might look like this. Today I will make that important phone call I have been putting off. Today I will read 10 pages from a book that will teach me something valuable. Today I will clean up that corner of my life that has been bothering me. Today I will sit down and work for 1 hour without any distractions. Today I will encourage one person who needs it. It is not about what the goal is. It is about choosing it with intention and following through with discipline. It is about building the muscle of starting and finishing. The people who can start and finish small things every day are the same people who can start and finish big things later. When you get in the habit of setting one simple goal every morning, you start your day with direction. You start your day with energy. You start your day with purpose. Instead of drifting, you are moving. Instead of reacting to the world, you are acting on the world. And when you finish your goal, no matter how small, you send yourself a powerful message. I am a person who does what I say I will do. That message, repeated day after day, builds an inner strength that few people have. It builds a reputation with yourself that cannot be shaken by the ups and downs of life. Most people live in a constant cycle of starting and stopping, getting excited and then quitting, making promises and then breaking them. And every time they break a promise to themselves, they lose a little bit of respect for themselves. They lose a little bit of hope. They lose a little bit of strength. You can change that cycle. You can build a different story. One simple goal every morning, finished before the day ends. That's it. Over time, those small completions build a strong mind. They build a strong character. They build a strong life. Now, some days you will not feel like it. Some days you will be tired. Some days you will be busy. Some days it will seem easier to push it off, to tell yourself it can wait. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the days where you prove to yourself that your word means something even when it is not convenient, even when it is not easy. Discipline is not built when you feel like it. Discipline is built when you do it anyway. Strength is not built when it is fun. Strength is built when it is hard. You will not remember all the easy days, but you will remember the hard days where you finished what you started anyway. Think about this. If you set and complete one small goal every day, that is 365 completed goals a year. 365 small victories stacked on top of each other. 365 chances to get stronger, smarter, more focused, more capable. Imagine what kind of person you become after living like that for a year. And it does not stop there. The discipline you build with small goals carries into bigger goals. You start trusting yourself to take on bigger challenges, because you know you can finish what you start. You know you can stick when it gets hard. You know you are not a quitter, and the world notices too. Opportunities start to come your way. People start to trust you more. Challenges start to seem smaller because you have built the muscle to move through them. But it starts simple. It starts today. When you wake up tomorrow, before you get pulled into the noise, before you get buried in other people's demands, set one clear goal for yourself. Write it down. Say it out loud. Own it. Then do it. No matter what, finish it. No matter what, stand guard over it like it matters, because it does. You do not need a complicated plan. You do not need a 10-point system. You need a clear intention and a strong follow-through. That is the real formula for building a better life. So tomorrow morning, set a simple goal, then finish it. Watch how different you feel when you lay your head down at night. Watch how much stronger you walk. Watch how much prouder you feel when you keep your word to yourself. One simple goal a day, one strong finish a day. Stack enough of those together, and you will have a life most people only dream about. And it all starts with a decision you make every morning. Today I finish what I start. Number 8. Talk less about problems and do more about them. One thing you learn if you live long enough is this: talking about problems does not fix them. Worrying about problems does not fix them. Complaining about problems does not fix them. Only action fixes problems. Only doing fixes problems. Only doing fixes problems. Only moving fixes problems. And yet, what do most people do? They talk. They talk a lot. They explain why it is hard. They explain why it is unfair. They explain why it is not their fault. They have 100 reasons and 1,000 words, but no change, no progress, no results. You see it everywhere. People sit around and describe their problems in great detail. They know every angle of it. They know every piece of it. They have rehearsed the pain. They have memorized the struggle. But when you ask them what they are doing about it, they get quiet. The truth is, It is easier to talk than to do. It is easier to complain than to act. It is easier to feel sorry for yourself than to rise up and fix it. But easier does not build success. Easier does not build a strength. Easier does not build a future you can be proud of. If you want to live different, you have to act different. You have to build a rule for yourself, a simple rule. When a problem shows up, I do not just talk about it, I do something about it. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be final. It just has to be a step in the right direction. Problems are a part of life. You cannot live without problems. Success is not about avoiding problems. It is about learning how to move through them faster, how to solve them quicker, how to spend less time stuck and more time moving. And here is something most people never realize. The longer you talk about a problem without acting, the bigger it feels, the scarier it feels, the heavier it feels. But when you act, even if it is just a small step, the problem starts to shrink. It starts to lose its power over you. Action builds courage. Action builds momentum. Action changes how you feel about your problem. Talking just reinforces your fear. Talking just locks you deeper into the story of why you cannot. Now, I am not saying you should never talk. Sometimes you need to get advice. Sometimes you need to get perspective. That is fine. That is wise. But there is a big difference between seeking advice and making excuses, between seeking a solution and seeking attention. You have to know which one you are doing. You have to be honest with yourself. Am I talking because I am planning to move? Or am I talking because I want to stay where I am and feel better about it? Action answers that question real fast. If you are serious about solving it, you start moving, you start changing, you start taking responsibility. And you do not have to fix everything all at once. You do not have to know the whole plan. You just have to do the next right thing. One small fix, one honest step, one piece of effort aimed in the direction you want to go. Problems are not solved by thinking about them endlessly. They are solved by stepping into them, working with what you have, learning along the way, adjusting as you move. And you will make mistakes. You will stumble. You will get it wrong sometimes. That is okay. That is part of the process. You are not aiming for perfect. You are aiming for progress. You are aiming for action. You are aiming for change. Every time you act instead of talk, you get a little stronger. Every time you move instead of complain, you get a little wiser. Every time you fix something small instead of waiting for a big miracle, you build real strength inside yourself. And that strength matters, because bigger problems are coming. Life does not get easier. You get better. You get tougher. You get smarter. You get faster. You stop being surprised by the fact that problems show up, and you start being ready. Talking about problems keeps you stuck in the past. Acting on problems moves you toward the future. Every action you take says to yourself and to the world, I am not waiting for someone to save me. I am building my way forward. Think about the people you respect most. Are they the ones who sit around talking about how unfair life is? Are they the ones who blame everyone else? Or are they the ones who see a challenge, feel the weight of it, and move anyway? Action earns respect, not talk. So tomorrow, when you feel the temptation to complain, catch yourself. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to make this a little better? Not perfect, just better. What call can I make? What step can I take? What work can I start? Then do it, quickly. Before fear talks you out of it. Before excuses start whispering in your ear. Before comfort pulls you back into doing nothing. And it does not matter how small the action is. If you act, you win. If you move, you win. If you change something, even a little, you win. Because problems are not defeated by size. They are defeated by movement. They are defeated by stubbornness. They are defeated by a spirit that says, I may not fix it today, but I will not sit still. I will not stay silent. I will not just talk. I will do. Build that spirit in yourself. Train it like a muscle. Wake it up every morning. Feed it every day. Strengthen it every time you face something hard. Talk less. Do more. Solve more. Win more. That is the way you build a life you are proud to live. Number 9. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher. One of the most important decisions you will ever make is who you let get close to you, who you spend your time with, who you open your mind and heart to. Because whether you notice it or not, people rub off on you. Their habits rub off. Their attitude rubs off. Their standards rub off. You can work as hard as you want to improve yourself, but if you stay around the wrong people too long, they will pull you back down. Not because they are bad people, not because they are evil, simply because they are not growing. They are standing still. They are making excuses. They are living small. And if you are not careful, you will start doing the same without even noticing it. You become like the people you spend the most time with. Their words become your words. Their thinking becomes your thinking. Their standards become your standards. It happens slowly. It happens quietly. But it happens. That is why you have to be careful. That is why you have to be intentional. That is why you have to choose people who lift you, not limit you. You need people who make you think bigger, not smaller. You need people who push you to do better, not settle for less. You need people who believe in you even when you doubt yourself. You need people who call you out when you are slacking, not people who make excuses for you. And finding those people does not happen by accident. You have to look, you have to seek them out. You have to pay attention. Who makes you feel stronger after you spend time with them? Who challenges you to be better just by the way they live? Who talks about ideas and goals and growth instead of gossip and problems? Surrounding yourself with people who lift you higher does not mean you think you are better than others. It does not mean you judge people. It simply means you recognize that your future is too important to spend it stuck in the wrong environments. You have limited time. You have limited energy. You cannot afford to waste it with people who are not going anywhere. You cannot afford to waste it on conversations that go in circles. You cannot afford to waste it on negativity, on complaining, on low standards. And sometimes that means making hard choices. Sometimes that means letting go of relationships that used to fit, but do not fit anymore. Sometimes that means saying no when it is easier to say yes. Sometimes that means standing alone for a while until you find better company. It can feel lonely at first. Growth often feels lonely at first, but it is better to walk alone in the right direction than to walk with a crowd going nowhere. And if you keep walking, you will find others who are walking the same road. You will find others who value what you value. You will find others who are serious about their lives too. When you do find them, hold on, invest in those relationships, encourage them, support them, challenge them, help them grow too. Real friendship is not just about feeling good together. It is about building good together. It is about seeing the greatness in each other and helping it come alive. And remember this, lifting others does not mean fixing them. You are not here to save people. You are not here to drag people to a better life. You are here to inspire by your example. You are here to live your truth so loudly that it wakes up others who are ready to hear it. If someone is not ready, that is okay. Love them, respect them, but do not let them pull you back into old habits. You have a future to build. You have a life to live. You have a calling to answer. The right people will not resent your growth. They will celebrate it. They will not feel threatened by your success. They will be inspired by it. They will not hold you back. They will push you forward. You need people in your life who tell you the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. You need people who remind you of your goals when you forget. You need people who refuse to let you quit when you are tired. You need people who see more in you than you sometimes see in yourself. And you need to be that kind of person too. Lift others higher. Encourage others to dream bigger. Challenge others to rise stronger. Life is too short to tear people down. Build them up. Push them forward. Cheer for their progress. But start with yourself. Start by setting the standard. Start by living with excellence. Start by refusing to settle for less than you are capable of. The right people will find you faster when you are living at the level you want to attract, and be patient. It takes time to build the right circle. It takes time to find people who truly align with your mission, your values, your spirit, but it is worth it. It changes everything. It changes your energy. It changes your thinking. It changes your future. Every great life is built with the help of others. Nobody succeeds alone. We are influenced by who we walk with. We are shaped by who we listen to. We are lifted by who we trust. So choose wisely, choose intentionally. Choose people who lift you higher, and be willing to walk away from anyone or anything that pulls you down. Your future depends on it. Number 10, take full charge of your time and your choices. One of the greatest powers you have in your life is the power to choose, the power to decide what you do with your time. the power to decide what you focus on, the power to decide who you become. But if you do not take full charge of it, life will do it for you. Other people will do it for you. Distractions will do it for you. And you will wake up one day wondering where all your years went. Time is not something you can stretch. It is not something you can borrow. It is not something you can get back once it is gone. Time is the raw material of your life. Every hour you spend is an hour of your life. You have traded away. The question is, what are you trading it for? Some people trade their time for entertainment. Some people trade their time for comfort. Some people trade their time for habits that give them nothing back. And then there are those who trade their time for growth, for strength, for skills, for relationships that matter, for dreams that take work to build. And it all comes down to choices, not one big choice. Thousands of small choices every day. You choose when you get up. You choose what you listen to. You choose what you watch. You choose who you spend time with. You choose how you talk to yourself. You choose whether you build or whether you coast. The truth is, most people give their choices away without even thinking. They say yes when they mean no. They scroll when they should be studying. They drift when they should be deciding. They wait when they should be working. If you want to live a different kind of life, you have to make a different kind of choice. You have to choose to be in charge. You have to stop waiting for motivation. You have to stop waiting for permission. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment. You have to decide today, right now, that you are the one steering your ship. And it is not about controlling everything. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control other people. But you can control you. You can control your reactions. You can control your attitude. You can control how you spend the hours you are given every single day. Start small. Start simple. Start by taking charge of your morning. The first hour of your day is one of the most powerful tools you have. It sets the tone. It sets the direction. If you waste your first hour, you spend the rest of the day catching up. If you win your first hour, you set yourself up to win the day. Do not leave your time wide open for anything that comes along. Plan it, protect it, defend it. Your time is your life. When you waste time, you are wasting your life. Decide what matters most. Decide what moves you closer to the life you want. Then build your days around that. Build your time around that. Build your choices around that. And it is not about being busy. Anybody can be busy. Being busy just means you are moving. It does not mean you are moving in the right direction. The goal is not to fill your day. The goal is to fulfill your purpose. When you take charge of your time and your choices, you start living with intention. You stop saying things like, I do not have time. Everybody has the same time, 24 hours. The difference is not the clock. The difference is the choices. Some people use their 24 hours to build dreams. Some use it to build excuses. Some use it to build distractions. Same hours, different choices, different lives. And you will be tested. Every day you will be tempted to give your time to things that do not matter. Every day you will be tempted to say yes to things that pull you off course. Every day you will have to decide, is this choice making me stronger or weaker? Is this choice building me or breaking me? Strength comes from choosing what is best over what is easy. Success comes from choosing what is right over what is comfortable. Growth comes from choosing what is needed over what is popular. And do not expect it to always feel good. Discipline rarely feels good in the moment. Sacrifice rarely feels fun in the moment. But when you stack enough good choices together, you build a life that feels good for a long time. The small choices you make every day are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Every skipped practice, every wasted hour, every delayed decision, every distracted evening. It all adds up, but so does every focused hour, every small effort, every disciplined morning, every intentional night. It all builds. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to be perfect to make progress. You just have to be conscious. You just have to be awake to the fact that your time is precious and your choices matter. And when you slip, because you will, do not waste time feeling guilty. Catch yourself. Correct yourself. Move forward. The winners are not the ones who never fall. The winners are the ones who get up faster every time they do. Make a decision today. A real decision. Take full charge of your time. Take full charge of your choices. Stop blaming. Stop waiting. Stop drifting. You are not a victim of time. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the author of your story. You are the builder of your life. Choose wisely. Choose strongly. Choose like your future depends on it. Because it does. Now you know the truth. Your future is not built by your company. It's built by your commitment to yourself. If you get better, everything around you gets better. If you sharpen your mind, your opportunities grow. If you strengthen your habits, your success multiplies. Work harder on you than anything else. Invest the time. Protect the time. Build the skills. Build the strength. Build the character. Most people will spend their whole life working harder on their job and wondering why life never changes. But not you. You have the chance to do it different. You have the chance to build a future you are proud of. It starts today. It starts now. Work harder on yourself and watch how fast everything else begins to change.